I want to give you the 5 things that we need to be thinking about if we want to create a marketing message that wins clients. My goal with this presentation is to get you thinking. You've got to accept that not everyone's going to like you, but the people that do like you are going to give you money. And this is where we get really scared about this. We go, but we've just eliminated most of the industry. Because we see all of that red and we go, ah. I've been spending time refining this for our business for a long time. I found this weird new way of doing it. It's unbelievable. Do you see how powerful that is? This stuff's so important. All of this starts to come together to create the ultimate marketing plan. I want to give you the 5 things that we need to be thinking about if we want to create a marketing message that wins clients. 5 things: who, what, when, how, and why. So let's start with the who, okay? Who do we target? The first thing we need to do is we need to get very specific with who it is that you want to serve. For some of you in the room, I can almost guarantee you started your business with an idea of who it is that you wanted to go after, and that has become watered down. Over the course of many months, over the course of perhaps a few years of you trying to grow this business, you're sometimes sat there in your home office and you just got your head in your hands thinking, what direction is my business actually going? Who am I serving? I've got this mix mash of clients, so I don't even have any clients and I don't really even know who it is that I want to serve. Has anyone had a moment like that? We just question the business. You can be honest, yeah? About half of the room. We have it. I've had it as well. We have to recenter ourselves as to who is it that we are targeting. Who do we want? And we have to actually get quite specific about it, okay? The more specific you are, the more attractive you will become to your ideal clients, okay? Say that again. The more specific you are, the more attractive you will become to your ideal clients. So I'm going to take you through a few things that you can be thinking about to hone in on your client avatar, and everything follows from that. It's at the top of this list for a reason. We start with the who for a reason, okay? There's some advice out there in the marketing world that when you get started, you want to cast a wide net. You want to cast a wide net. So you're a life coach. So you just put yourself out into the industry as another life coach. And fingers crossed, you get some referrals. Fingers crossed, some clients come to you. You don't even really mind who it is that needs your help. As long as they come with a credit card and a pulse, you're happy. You'd accept that client. And that's going to lead you down quite a horrible path. It's going to lead you down a path of where you're not enjoying your business because you're waking up in the morning thinking, oh my gosh, I've got a coaching call with Sally. I hate Sally. She's so annoying. She's not the client that I wanted. But now you're having to deal with these people because you sacrificed what's really important to you, the client that you wanted, okay? So casting a wide net and just trying to catch any client, any fish you can, really bad way to operate. What we want to do is first decide, what rod do I need? What bait do I need to catch the exact fish that I want? Where am I going? Am I going ocean fishing, to a pond, to a lake? I'm deciding all this stuff first so that I can just dip it in and pick up the right clients. So we do the work up front, we get really specific, and we will be able to grab the clients that we want. I've been teaching this to my private clients for quite a long time. It's this idea of the wider market versus the mini market. How many of you have heard me talk about this before? Yeah? Okay, a few of you around the room. So let's imagine, and I apologize, you might not be able to see this, but let's imagine that this circle here represents your entire market. If you're in the fitness space, in any capacity, as this circle represents how many people are in your space. Let's say that we're just going to pick a number. Let's say there's 2 million people. 2 million people that could potentially be clients for you. 2 million people that want to get fit and want to get in shape, okay? Well, this is your wider market. And casting a wide net is you over here saying, right, I've launched my business, I'm a fitness coach, I feel a little bit nervous about who it is I'm going after, I don't want to go too specific in case no one is attracted to me, so I'm going to cast this wide net. So I'm just going to create a message that tries to speak to everyone, and hopefully someone from here goes, oh, I like the sound of that. Someone from here goes, yeah, I like the sound of that. It's not going to happen. These people are not going to feel drawn to you because your message is too broad, too open, too vanilla, okay? What we actually need to do is within this wider market, there are these little pockets of people. And they come from different backgrounds, they have different goals, they have different reasons why they're wanting to get in shape. So if we can first decide, like the rod, like the bait, like the place we're going to go fishing, if we can first decide exactly who do we want to serve, we're going to zero in on some of this stuff. And let's say we just go for these people here. And we're going to go through some examples of who that might be and how we decide. But let's say we go for this. Now our marketing message only speaks to these people. We're incredibly specific. That means that none of these other people are going to want your stuff. None of them. And this is where we get really scared about this. We go, but we've just eliminated most of the industry. This is why we get stuck here. Because we see all of that red and we go, ah! But actually this blue, the people in here, maybe it's 100,000 people. I'm pulling these numbers out. But if it's 100,000 people, now you've got 100,000 people of a far more captive audience. These people are really being drawn into your marketing message. Is this making sense so far? Tracking with me? Okay, I need a bigger yes than that if it does. Yeah? Okay. So we need to find this mini market, okay? A couple of examples. I mean, there's a guy called, I don't know how he's doing now, but there's a guy called Andrew Arger. I don't know him personally, but he had a webinar that was doing $1 million a month, and he was helping accountants and CPAs to grow their accounting business. Okay. Now he's gone down from a wider market and got smaller and smaller and smaller. The wider market there would be business owners wanting to grow their business. Perhaps a smaller mini market might have been service-based businesses. He went even smaller and went down to specifically accounting businesses. And because he went so small with the targeting, he was able to grow a gigantic business. Because now when someone has an accounting business that is also categorized as a service-based business, if he goes and if that person is looking for a solution to their problem and they see one coach saying, I can help service-based businesses, and someone else saying, I help specifically accounting businesses, Andrew's going to win every time. Does that make sense? The person who's slightly broader is not going to win. Now imagine you're even broader than that. You just help business owners grow their business. There's nothing specific about that, so people aren't going to choose you. Okay? Same thing with a guy called Alex Hormozy. Same thing there. He grew a gigantic business, and it was helping people that have physical locations for a gym. So not just fitness professionals, not just people that are, personal trainers, specifically fitness trainers that have their own location. They have a spot that they go to. Very, very specific, but that's why he won. Okay? Another example is this. Let's imagine we've got two photographers. Photographer one is positioning himself or herself as they can do everything. They can do weddings. They can do corporate, they can do headshots, they can do parties, they do events, you name it, they can do whatever you need. Photographer 2 is specifically a wedding photographer. They've come down into one of these, specifically a wedding photographer. Now, let's assume that they can both take equal quality photos. Whoever you choose, you're going to get pretty much the same result. Great photos, okay? Well, now let's picture a scenario. You've got a bride and a groom. They're looking for a wedding photographer, okay? They're looking around. They see advertisements from both of these people, or they get a referral to both of these people. And the first guy says, yeah, I can do your wedding. And you can see on his website, does everything else as well. Yeah, but I can do a wedding. And you've got this person, I'm dedicated to the wedding industry. Equal photos. Who wins the business? Photographer 1 or 2? 2. So hopefully you're starting to see the pattern here, and hopefully you're starting to question your whole business. Because if you fall into category like photographer 1, this is why you're stuck. This is why you're not generating clients. Because people are always choosing someone else who's more specific because your message was far more open. How many of you are already getting those little light bulbs going off now, yeah? Okay, good. So let's go further. How can we start to dive down? How can we get more specific? Well, there's a few things that you can think about. First is obviously, which mini markets do you want to go into? Okay, we can just start to think about that. Which ones make the most sense for us to double down on, okay? Something else. What are their specific problems? The people that you're looking to help, they've got the problems, they've got the solution that they need, okay? So we can now start to hone in on some of those more specific problems. Something else is how long have they been struggling? This is actually a really helpful one that I'm going to spend a bit more time on in just a minute. How long have they struggled? Okay, if we can start to identify and pick out, have they been struggling for just 6 months, or is it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, perhaps? Depending on how long they've been struggling, we can start to paint more of an accurate message in our positioning that attracts those people. What have they already tried that didn't work? If we are targeting people that have already had a go at a solution and it hasn't worked, then we can talk to the pain that they've perhaps experienced through that process. Where in the world are they? Maybe you want to target certain countries, certain regions, certain areas, and maybe there's, again, another way you can get more specific with your message depending on where they are in the world, okay? The next two are really ones that you can just be figuring out. Just sit down with a pen and paper. Like, how do you feel? The first is, who do you feel most confident to help? If I ever sit down and have a one-to-one with a client, this is one of the first things I say. I say, look, if you're feeling a bit confused over who it is you want to speak to and get more specific with, well, who do you just feel most confident? If you're a life coach and you're thinking, I have people come to me with all kinds of problems. Okay, well then let's picture right now that the door of your office opens and a prospect comes in. What problem do they tell you that they've got that you just light up? You're like, that's the one. I can really help that person. If someone walks through the door and they've got that problem, yeah, I could probably help them. I could probably still accept them as a client, but I wouldn't feel as confident. Does that make sense? Yes. Which ones would make us just go, I'm lit up. I've got a fire under me. I could really, really help this person. That will help you define what those mini markets are. And then we focus on it, okay? Next one is in fact, I'd like to know, raise your hand nice and high, if you have already had, over the course of a few years, let's say at least 5 customers or clients. 5 customers or clients, amazing. So many of you, okay? In which case, you need to start to find, and 5's the minimum, but obviously more the merrier. The averages will start to work out the more people that you have. But now, who's typically most attracted to you? This is such an easy way to do this. I keep reevaluating this in my company. It's this constant double track that we just keep getting closer and closer. It's, okay, I'm doing my own homework and I'm deciding who it is I want to serve. And once we generate some clients, we're looking at those people and saying, well, who are they? How old are they? What problems do they have? Why have they found us? And then we take that information back to our marketing and we hone in our marketing even more. And then we go back over here and we see who we're attracting now. And these two things get closer and closer and closer. Make sense? Yeah, so that's what you want to do as well. Who's typically coming to you? Are they male, female? Is there a specific gender that you know that you can help? And how old are they? We've got Fez in the crowd. He's going to be speaking to us, tomorrow. He's an amazing, amazing guy, one of our clients. He helps women over 40. So he's really just honed in on gender and age, and that's why he cleans up, because those people are really attracted to him, okay? Let's take this very room, for example. You are all here to learn how to grow your business. Now, most of you would be my dream client avatar, but let's assume you're not. We'll do a little activity right now. I'd like you all to prepare to to stand up, and we're going to just try something out. So if everyone could just just stand up for a second, all right? And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and if the statement is not true for you, sit down. If the statement is true for you, stay standing, okay? If you are here to learn marketing strategies to grow your business, stay standing. Very good. It's everyone. Okay. Now, if I came out with a marketing message that just says, hey, I can help you grow your business with online marketing, opt in for my webinar, all of you are pretty much my client avatar. But if you didn't know me, that message, you would eliminate me. You would scroll past me on Facebook. You would skip that YouTube ad, right? That wouldn't draw you in. You're here because I got you in a different way. But had I just said, I'm going to teach you how to grow your business with online marketing strategies. That's what you need, but my message didn't get you, okay? So now, stay standing if you sell coaching. You would identify your business as a coaching business. And if not, you can sit down. If you do anything else, if you sell courses, lower ticket courses, if you have a membership platform, if you sell physical products, brick and mortar, take a seat. Okay, of those of you staying standing, if your product is more than $5,000, if you have a program that's more than $5,000, stay standing. If you have a product that's more than $5,000, stay standing. Okay, so now just have a quick look around the room. We've got just a selection of people now. I've already got more specific now with my message that I can now go out and talk about online marketing strategies that help coaches that sell high ticket, minimum $5,000. If that's you, the strategy that I have is perfect, okay? Now, everyone standing, I would have almost all of your attention and you'd probably opt in for that webinar. The rest of you, it doesn't matter. Because had I gone out with just a general message in the beginning, all of you would have skipped. But now I've isolated some of you, I've got your attention, you're coming in. Thank you, you can sit down. Does that make sense? Give me a big yes if it does. Yes. Okay, this stuff's so important. Those that were just standing there, I would create a message that would grab you that you otherwise would have paid zero attention to me had I not been specific. Now there's lots of different groups of people in the room. I could have got even more specific to the point where there were 2 or 3 people still standing, and this is where we get nervous. What I've just shown is an example of what your marketing looks like going out there on social media, on Facebook. We go, oh, if I'm too specific, I'm getting the attention of nobody. No, you're being really specific so that there's a handful of people that are running towards you and just tipping buckets of money over your head. They cannot wait to become a client. That's who we're going after. Anyway, we better keep going because I've got lots to cover. So how do we know if you're specific enough? A couple of things. Firstly, keep digging until you're uncomfortably specific. Keep digging until you're uncomfortably specific to where you actually, genuinely get that little knot in your stomach. That little knot in your stomach like, oh, this is feeling really specific now. I've been spending time refining this for our business for a long time. And I actually remember many, many years ago, how many of you would remember, gosh, this would be interesting. How many of you would remember a program I used to have called Tube Traffic Mastery? Anyone? Oh my days. A few of you. Okay, I launched that product back in 2014. What are you still doing it? No, I really appreciate it. It's amazing. 2014, I launched this program. It was teaching some YouTube strategies. I had no awareness of who my client was, and we had all sorts of people coming through that program. And I remember I got to a point where I just stopped enjoying the training because I wasn't feeling like I was helping as many people as I could because we had all sorts of people coming through the program. There was nothing specific about it. Therefore, I didn't know how to tailor the training. So we can actually create a better client experience too. If we know who it is we're going after, not only are we going to attract them in a greater number, is the irony, more people are actually going to come to you and say yes from a smaller group, but more so we can make our programs better. Circling back to what we spoke about first thing, it's the marketing that sells the product, so we've got to get good marketing to get the customers in, but now we can actually create a better product as a result as well. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. And then the second thing is just don't go so far that it just doesn't make sense. It's too small. Just use common sense, right? Literally just use common sense. There's no exact number. You don't have to go to the Google keyword planner and find keywords that have an exact amount of searches. That's not what we're doing here. Just use your common sense. Get down to feeling uncomfortably specific, but you would know that that audience is, of course, still there. And then here's the kicker. And some of you will do this, and some of you won't. But I need to advise it anyway. You need to implement the push and the pull in your marketing, in your quest to generate clients. The push and the pull is pulling the right type of people towards you with your marketing and pushing the wrong people away. I actually want you to have moments where a client wants to sign up and you say no. It's quite an exhilarating feeling, actually. We do it more often now than you might expect. We have tens and tens and tens of calls being booked on our calendar every day for our sales team, and we have a strict requirement as to who we work with and who we don't. And that comes with the luxury of good marketing and more opportunity than you can handle, and it also comes with really knowing who your client avatar is and not sacrificing it. So the first time somebody wants to give you money on the phone and you say no, I promise you the knock-on effect of that is you're playing a stronger long-term game than you are if you try to accept that short-term win. Because if you don't sacrifice who it is that you want to be helping, then you will just naturally attract more of the right people. Your confidence in how you describe your dream avatar, your confidence in inviting someone in goes through the roof because you're willing to say no. Make sense? Yes. Okay, so you've got to do the push and the pull. The next thing, so that's the who. Got to get clear on the who. Number 2 is what is unique about your message. So now we know who it is. But to get their attention, what's unique about us? Okay? Well, let's dive in. We must present what you have in such a way that it stands out above the noise. So how do we stand out? There's a few different things you can do. You can use a combination of all the things I'm going to mention right now, or you can just pick one or two. The first is you can present yourself as a bit of a polarizing character. Okay? You can wear the same outfit. Hopefully wash it day to day. But wear the same outfit. Have brand in your color. I've got a friend called Rudy Meyer, and he just wears red all the time. Now he's just the red guy. Anyone know the red guy? A few of you? Yeah, so, that what you're wearing, how you're communicating certain things, exuding confidence through the camera and in your marketing. You've just got to think of characters like Conor McGregor, Donald Trump, people like this that some of you just, your eyes perked up and thought, I love that guy. And others of you went, I hate that guy. But that's what polarizing is. The more polarizing you can be, you've got to accept that not everyone's going to like you, but the people that do like you are going to give you money. So we can't please everyone. We can't have vanilla marketing. So being a bit polarizing really, really helps, okay? Next option for you is to present an opposite view to the market at the moment, okay? If the market is all going in one direction, okay, if there's a flow of traffic going one way, if you just jump in and follow that flow of traffic, it's really nothing having you standing out. Have you ever been in a busy environment where traffic's going one way, it's a one-way system, and some numpty is standing there trying to go the other way, and they're just trying to get through everybody, right? Ever been in a situation like that? It's annoying, okay? But that's actually what we want to do in our business. Everyone's going one way. We want to stand here and be really clear that we're going in a different direction. And by doing that, we naturally stand out. So what's an example of that? Well, in the fitness space, when intermittent fasting first became a thing, it was very controversial, right? Everyone was talking about you've got to have a nice, wholesome breakfast bowl of cereal in the morning, right? And that was the thing that the industry was saying. Kellogg's plastering it all over their TV ads. So the first time that someone came out and said, actually, you should skip breakfast. In fact, don't really eat till 2 p.m. What are you doing? Okay? Suddenly it's like, well, what do you mean? Turning heads, paying attention. So going in an opposite direction, be thinking about this stuff. My goal with this presentation is to get you thinking. I'm not going to be able to do this for every single one of you in your business unless we sat down one-to-one, but I want you to be thinking about this. How can I go in a different direction just a little bit? Okay? Next one, really important. Make something old sound new. This is such a simple way of doing it. I've got the issue of webinars sound a bit boring, but they still work incredibly well. So powerful, but they are a little bit boring. If I say, sign up to learn how to generate clients with webinars, you'd be like, and you'd move on. You'd scroll past. So I've got to find a way of making something old sound new again. So I've done this a couple times. I've come up with messaging where I've said I'm going to teach you how to use the forgotten funnel to land more clients than you can handle. Well, what the heck's the forgotten funnel, right? And then I create a bit of a story, a bit of a message around the fact that everyone's forgotten about webinars. Everyone's knocked it to the wayside, but actually they work so well, everyone's forgetting about it, that creates more opportunity for us, because as people stop using webinars, it creates more opportunity for us. So I've made something old sound new again. I also came out with a framework called the CHARM webinar approach. Now, CHARM was just an acronym, and I literally just made it up, pulled some stuff out my butt. I was like, well, let's just do these letters and make it sound interesting. But because I went out with, I'm going to teach you how to use the CHARM webinar approach, it was new again. It's like, well, I've heard of a webinar, but what the heck's a CHARM webinar? So you can put simple little words and phrases and numbers and 5-step this and 4-step that, and suddenly it's like, hey, sounds like it might be new again. Maybe you've seen messaging like this where someone's teaching Facebook advertising, for example. Facebook ads are old and perhaps boring. So even saying phrases like, I figured out this new secret strategy of how to use Facebook ads in 2023 to absolutely crush it. We haven't just said, I'm going to teach you how to use Facebook ads to grow your business. We've said, I found this weird new way of doing it. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely crushing it compared to the campaigns I was running back in 2017. Do you see how powerful that is? Such a simple little tweak. 4 of you did. That's great. You see how powerful that is? It's absolutely amazing, okay? I think it's amazing. Makes 5. I think it's amazing. Bring a fresh way of communicating your thing, okay? So you might be feeling like you're communicating the same thing as everyone else in your space. So maybe we can think of a new, fresh way of communicating it, okay? Maybe you teach it in a unique way or something like that. You know, what's a unique way of doing it? And then finally, elevate your solution above the other options in the marketplace, okay? I've been teaching this actually for quite a while, but when you are trying to elevate what it is that you do, what you teach, and how you teach it, okay, it's one thing to talk about what you've got and try to get it up a couple levels in the prospect's mind, like, oh, maybe I should be thinking about that. It's looking like a great option. We, at the same time, want to kind of trash talk all the other options that are available. So the more we trash talk other options, we're actually creating more distance between what we're positioning and the next best option. Make sense? Yeah. So which is why when you've been on webinars now, you're going to start to see this from people like myself and others on webinars. Will be saying, look, I was trying to find a funnel strategy, and I tried this one, and here's what went wrong with that one. And then I tried this one, and here's why this didn't work. And then I tried that one, and everyone's talking about that at the moment, but when I did it, it didn't work. And then webinars. Boom, webinars, but I've also trash-talked everything else, so I'm creating more distance in the prospect's mind. So we can elevate our option above all others by also kind of trash-talking it a bit, okay? So that's the what. Next we have the when, okay? When do we target them? Well, this is kind of simple, but I just wanted to add this in because ideally we want to catch people towards the end of their journey, like later on in the journey. We don't want to try and get people's attention when they've only realized they have this problem in the last kind of like month or two. They're not going to be in a position ready to sign up for coaching. Who's read the book Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz? Not enough of you, okay? Write that down, Breakthrough Advertising. Breakthrough Advertising, a fantastic book. Talks about the 5 levels of market awareness, okay? They're unaware that they have a problem. Then they become aware of the problem but not the solution. Then they become problem and solution aware. They're aware that there are solutions but they haven't taken a stab at it yet. Then they're aware of your solution, okay, but they haven't signed up, and then they're just all in and they love you and they're ready, but they just haven't actually got their credit card out. It's the 5 levels of awareness. So we want to get people further up the awareness track, but also we want to get them when they have been struggling with the problem for actually quite some time, okay? So how much someone is willing to pay is oftentimes in direct alignment with how desperate they are for a solution. The more desperate they are, the more they're willing to pay, the more enthusiastic they will be about, right, I'm finally going to invest in myself, okay? Everything kind of comes together with this, and it takes time to achieve that. So here we've got this simple little graph, about as far as my keynote presentation skills go, but we've got time over increased desire for a solution. The more time passes while someone is trying to find a solution, the more time that passes that someone has a problem, the more their desire increases for a solution. The more their desire increases, the more they're willing to pay. So let's take a look at this. Let's say someone's just been struggling for 3 or 4 months. They just started to figure out, I've got this problem, it's not feeling good, maybe I should be finding a way to solve this. They're just going to go online and they're just going to search for videos on YouTube, or they're going to go to Google and search for free. There's going to be nothing that's really driving a purchase at this point because it's a new problem for them, right? A little bit more time goes by. Maybe their searches get more aggressive, okay? This is true for everyone in the room. If any of you have ever signed up for a coaching program that's more than, let's say, $5,000, I guarantee you didn't do that in week 1. You didn't wake up one day with this brand new idea that I should start a business. I've just realized I could probably leave my job and do this thing myself, $5,000 next day or $5,000 next week. No, you probably started looking on YouTube and looking on Google and trying to get answers to your problems, and then you realize that doesn't work. I think I need to invest in myself. Right, do you know what? Cool, I better sit down. This is a big deal. I'm going to buy that $7 ebook, and then you invest in that $7 ebook. You're like, it didn't work. It's a scam. And then you pace your room and you're like, I'm going to invest again. Right, $50 course. Your investment goes up. The more time passes, the more serious you become. And here's what's great for us. is the people that are then not serious enough will start dropping off. They start dropping off. So once they start to invest a little bit, there are people that never quite get to that. And then there are people that spend longer with the problem, more willing they are to invest. So we actually want to get people further along. You might be saying, well, how do we get them at that point? This is all just plays into the message that we're going to talk about creating in just a moment. Okay? You also want to think about positioning yourselves as a premium offering. And if you do that, you'll start to attract premium level clients. All of this starts to come together to create the ultimate marketing plan. Because we attract people further along, they're more desperate for a solution, far more likely to invest high ticket, so we can actually start to elevate our prices. Oftentimes, just putting your prices up, you attract better people, okay? How many of you have ever seen a $100 online course and you've not bought it because you just didn't think you'd get the help that you actually needed from something like that, yeah? That exact same training could be packaged up into a $10,000 course, a couple of coaching calls thrown in, but it's the same information, and just because of the price, you assume it's more valuable. Let that sink in just for a second. Purely because of the price, you assume it's more valuable. So we can get premium clients if we position ourselves correctly as a premium service. It's scary to do in the beginning because you might be saying, but John, I've got a $1,000 thing right now and no one's signing up. So I can't go to 3, 4, or 5,000 yet because I can't even get clients at one. That might be the reason. The reason you're not getting clients might be because you're too cheap. And if you elevated your brand and elevated your pricing, then you would be able to get up to those figures. Okay? There's a premium version of just about everything as well. So we're not going into no man's land. We're not going into a territory that has been trodden. We're going into a place where there is premium services everywhere. You know, you think about taking a flight. There's economy and there's business class, or there's first class. You go into a club, right? And you can either go into the squash pit, right? Or you can go get a private table with the champagne that has all the stuff coming out the top, right? I feel like I'm getting a bit old. I don't know what this is like anymore. Okay? We've got fast food. We've got fine dining. Okay? And then we've got Ford and we've got Bugatti. You know, complete opposite ends of the car market. I was looking at some stats. I don't know exactly how accurate this is, but it still, proves the point. I was looking at how many vehicles Ford sell in a year, and it's somewhere between 3 and 4 million a year. And Bugatti, it's between 100 and 200. Okay? So someone would say, well, hold on a minute, you're not getting enough clients over here. We need to broaden your scope. We need to go out to more people. No, I'm going to get really specific. I'm going to be really clear. I'm going to go high ticket, and that's going to be, that's going to give me everything that I need, and I'm working with less people too. So ideally, we want Bugatti clients. So we want to get further up this timeline of when it is that someone's looking for a solution. Still tracking with me? Yes. Okay. Next one is how. How are we going to get their attention? Okay. Well, firstly, we do it by combining the first three. So who do we want to target? We get so specific with the who, then it's what's unique about your message that we're going to be able to use to get the attention of those people. Then we're deciding when are we trying to get their attention? How far through the process are they? So we're actually combining all three of these, and that really helps us to get their attention. So let's just recap real quick. By first endeavoring to understand the who our dream client avatar is, we can then create a compelling message that gets their attention. We can't do it beforehand. If we don't first do all of this research and just get pen to paper and just think about this and get more, if we don't do that, we'll lose. But if we do it, we've paved the way to create a message that's really actually quite compelling. Okay. Now, I call this displayed understanding. You might want to write that down. Displayed understanding. The goal for us to get the attention of the people in our marketplace, the goal is to display that we understand them, where they're at, and how they're feeling. That's the goal. If we can display that, and they can really feel that, and they'll resonate with you through the screen, then you will have people signing up. So this is how I like to describe it to my clients is the goal is to articulate your prospect's problem better than even they can themselves. Okay? if you let that sink in and if you write that down and just meditate on it when you leave this event, ideas will just come to you. The goal is to better articulate the prospect's problem than even they can themselves. If you can do that, you'll win clients. I mean, hands down, you will just start winning clients. Because your prospects, if they have been struggling with this problem for so long, sometimes they don't even know how to articulate their own problem. You realize that? Sometimes they are just thinking, I know how I feel. I've got this problem, it's really frustrating, but I don't even know how to articulate it. And have you ever had a moment where you go for a coffee with a friend and they're a really good listening ear, right? And you can just tell by their facial expression, the way they're responding back to you, they get it. And you just needed an outlet, you needed a rant. And you sat down with your friend, your best friend, and they said, I get it, I understand it. That must be making you feel like this. Yeah, it does. And what about this? Have you tried? Yeah. If you leave that meeting, you're thinking, God, that person, I really resonate with them. I'm connected with them. Like they understood the problem. We want to be that in the marketplace. So if we can display that level of understanding and awareness of their problems, we will absolutely win clients. Okay. We've also got this thing to think about here, which is the pain and the gain. People in your marketplace are either trying to escape pain or they're running towards gain, or it's a combination of the two. And so we want to get really good at identifying what problems what pains our clients might have, or potential clients, and then also, at the same time, what is it that they're after? The easiest way to do this, I mean, this isn't a difficult exercise. We're just going to write pains on one side and we're going to write gains on the other, and you just spend some time, an hour or two. I do this every now and again. I just refocus on who's my avatar, how are they feeling? And I write down all their pains, I write down all their gains, taking into account the who it is that we're targeting, and then we get to work on here. And we don't just write simple things. Like for me, it's helping people get clients. Well, okay, so they want clients, don't have clients, okay? That would not be very creative, would it? Okay? We need to get more specific. I know my market so well. So I can be describing the pains of building a sales funnel, the pain of, launching a YouTube ad and thinking that you've pressed all the right buttons, but you just got that niggling voice in the back of your head. Have I done that right? I don't know if I've pressed it. I can be going into levels of detail about the pains, the big ones, but also the little micro ones that are just frustrating about launching a funnel. I can go into all of that because I understand who it is that I'm speaking to. The more I understand them, the better I'll connect with them. Okay? So then finally, we have the why, okay? Why should they choose you? Why should they choose you, okay? Well, firstly, and if we could have the slides back up on the screen, firstly, because you've demonstrated that you understand them, where they're at, and you've got what they need and want. We've demonstrated it. We've demonstrated it through the way we've communicated our message. We've displayed understanding. And I forgot to mention this, but displayed understanding needs to trickle through into every area of your marketing. It's in the way you write copy. It's in your headlines. It's in your videos. It's in your webinars, in your sales videos, in your follow-up email sequences. It's in your YouTube ad scripts. It's in your Facebook ad copy. It's everywhere. Who is it that we're helping? And then we get more, we put that into our marketing messaging. So we've already demonstrated it. So that's actually one of the ways that we're going to be getting clients. Why should they choose you? Well, we've already achieved it with 1 to 4. But there's a couple more things that I want to focus on. One thing is leading with value. It's one thing to get someone's attention. But what we also want to do is we want to retain that attention and turn that attention into a conversion. So it is one thing to get attention. It's another thing to keep it and convert it. One of the ways that we do that is with value. The more we can provide value to the marketplace, the more that starts to drive conversion. We've been in this switch for a few years now. This isn't new information, but we still seem to get stuck in this idea that we can just, right, I've got my product, I know it can help people, people should just get it. Why don't they get it? I can help them. I remember when Russell Brunson, I was in his Inner Circle Mastermind back in 2014. He actually managed to get me into it in a backdoor way. It was a bit sneaky. He invited me to speak at his mastermind. And so I went along and I shared some YouTube training with his clients. And he said, oh, and if you want to hang out at the mastermind too, you're welcome to. And I hung out. I was like, this is a pretty cool group of people. So I gave him 25 grand. But so I was in So I was in Russell's mastermind, and it was right at the time where he first launched ClickFunnels. And he launched this piece of software, and he didn't understand why people weren't getting it. He put a sales video together, and he was driving traffic to it, and no one was signing up. And I remember there was 2 inner circle meetings where he looked really deflated. And he was very honest with the group, and it's because no one was signing up for ClickFunnels. No one got it. Then he changed the vehicle, changed the messaging, changed the story, and people started to sign up, and he launched a webinar. That was actually what did it. He launched a webinar that was able to captivate an audience and provide some value in that time, rather than just a simple short sales video. And the same thing is true now, but elevated. Okay? Value and time with you is what actually drives conversion, which is the next thing. And these 2 things go hand in hand. It is how much time do they spend with you. If you bring these 2 things together, how much time have they been around you, your environment, your messaging, your videos, your webinars, all of that stuff. How much time and how much value are they getting from it? Some people sign up quickly, and you will get some of those people. They're unicorns, but they are out there and they're in every market. They've just got bundles of cash, and they've got big problems. And they're just like, right, yeah, I like the sound of that person, right, give them some money. Nope, didn't work, right, try that one. And they're just throwing money around. They're unicorns. Some people need that little bit of relationship building. It's value and time. So what I want you to just have in your notes, and again, just think about this, is your sales process valuable? Actually just think about that. Is it valuable, or are you trying to get someone from a YouTube ad or a Facebook ad, and within 2 minutes you're trying to get them on the phone, and the phone call is just a sales conversation? Step back for a minute. Is there actually any value in this process whatsoever? And if there's not, you're going to struggle to convert people. It's value that makes them go, I kind of like, it's the law of reciprocity. I kind of like what I've received from this person. Yeah, I think I'm going to invest in their coaching. And then, of course, it's the time that takes. That's why I'm going to talk about webinars over the course of the next 3 days, because that's what I use, and they work so well, and it's because that's how I can create that time. They log on to a webinar, they spend a bit of time with me. You can do this with other sales funnels. I've brought an array of speakers that are going to teach you different sales funnels, different topics. It's not just webinars. That's what's working for me. But whatever sales funnel it is that you decide to use, think about this. How much time are they spending to go through the process? And if it's not long enough, and then there's not enough time to provide value, you're probably not doing this correctly. Still tracking with me? Yes. Okay. So let's just quickly recap. These are the 5 ways that we create a marketing message that wins clients. We first decide who it is that we want to target. We get very, very specific, okay? And we don't compromise on who it is that we want to help. What is unique then about your message that we can put out into the marketplace that will start to grab attention? When do we want to target them? How long have they been on this journey with a problem trying to find a solution? Then how are we going to get their attention? We're going to combine the 3 things we've just spoken about. And why should they choose you? It's because of all of the above, and making sure that you're providing value and they're spending time in your process.